Hi, I'm Ken Navarro, and welcome to my podcast, All About the Music. Today, we're going to do episode 4 of the latest in my series, following how I compose and then record the music for the new songs on my upcoming CD. It'll be my 28th CD. It's scheduled to come out sometime in early 2025. I have 22 different songs I've been working on. The one I'm focusing on with this series of episodes, I'm calling KN16. It's just a temporary title. Obviously, the 16th song I've been working on. So far, we've covered how I created the chorus or the hook, then how I took that chorus and created an intro based on it with a new arrangement, then how I wrote the first verse, and now I'm going to explain how I wrote the second verse. That's what we're going to do today. So let's get started. As I said in my previous episode about how I created the first verse, I wrote a lot of verses, and I didn't like a lot of them. They were okay. They weren't bad. They just weren't great. And, I always want great, or as close as I can get. So the good news was, in the process of writing all those verses, I came up with a couple ideas that were good, and I found a way to take one of those ideas and create the first verse, and then take another one of those ideas and use it for the second verse. So what I did on this was kind of different than how I created the chorus or the first verse. I actually took a guitar and came up with a chord progression and sang the melody until I came up with what I thought was the right melody. So let's just check out what I did first with this second verse. So just to kind of give you a quick idea of the form here, it starts off with 16 bars, kind of 2 8-bar phrases that go together, and then there's a 4-bar section that you could argue is separate, but to me it went with this second verse because it serves as a transition to get us from the second verse into the next chorus. So the total is 20 bars. Okay, so you heard that, just my nylon string fingerstyle guitar playing the chords, and then the melody guitar that I initially came up with, just singing it along with the chords. The next thing I did was I considered what I should do with the rhythm. And I decided to use kind of a variation on the drum groove that we heard in the first verse. It's different, but not so different that you feel like we're off into another song or anything. It certainly holds together. And then I also, with the bass, I had a little bit more of an active acoustic bass line that I came up with. So let's listen to just the drums and the bass. Okay, so let's put together the bass and the drums for the second verse, along with the nylon string chord fingerstyle guitar and my nylon string melody, and check out how all that is sounding at this point. The next thing I did was I added in that Wurlitzer electric piano that I've been using throughout the song so far, mostly just to kind of give a certain support with the harmony to this verse. So let's check that out. You'll hear the Wurlitzer piano on the left, by the way. The other thing I did was I started hearing like an electric rhythm guitar part played on my trusty Stratocaster, a very clean sound. And, I will say it's tricky when you add a third rhythm support part. I've already got the nylon string finger-style guitar playing the chords. I've got the Wurlitzer electric piano. Now I wanted to throw in this electric guitar part. It has to simultaneously not get in the way of the other two chord parts. It has to also support the melody. And then finally, it needs to be doing something, mostly rhythmically, to help give it meaning for being there. Otherwise, why is it there? So let's check out now the Wurlitzer electric piano on the left, the nylon string fingerstyle guitar on the right, and my clean electric Strat guitar part kind of in the center. Well, hopefully you can see how those three chordal parts all work together. Well, we've come to the time of the podcast where I put all of these different parts I've created together to come up with this second verse. So we're going to hear the Wurlitzer electric piano on the left, the nylon string chords on the right, my electric guitar a little bit off center to the left, my bass and my drums pretty much in the center, although both of them are in stereo, and then finally the nylon string melody guitar right on top of it all. So let's hear how everything fits together to form this early version of verse 2 for my song KN16. So there you have it. That is all of verse 2 up to this point. Bear in mind that this is my demo of the song. As I write it, I create a demo. Very often, elements of the demo end up in the final recording, but I leave those decisions to a separate time. When I'm writing, my focus is on the composition and then realizing it as far as recording it, so I have a record of it that I can work with from there. So next week, we've gone through so many parts of the song. Next week, I'm going to start to put these different parts together to get us to the point of the song that we're at, because I think it's time for you to see how they're going to fit together. So please come back next Thursday. I'm doing a new episode every Thursday where I follow the development of this song, KN16, and show you all the way from the beginning to its completion. So thanks again for listening. I'm Ken Navarro, and I'll see you next Thursday.